Hey guys, Palsteron here, and today let's talk about how I will be leveling my Mercenary. Making leveling guides right now is basically impossible because we just don't have the info for it, but I wanted to make a quickie video just to kind of lock you in on what I'm personally gonna do, and also tell you that once we have the passive tree, I will actually be putting down something akin to a planner as good as I can. But yeah, I still don't have access to the skills at that point, but we will be doing that over on twitch.tv/Palsteron a few hours before the patch is out. Analyze the new nodes and at least make a preliminary passive tree. But I'll tell you in this video what I'm looking forward to trying and to kind of tell you about, well, bow leveling, which is currently the easiest way to level a Mercenary because we already know all the variables. Lightning arrow didn't change, lightning rod didn't change, and you can try them right now. You can prep exactly what you're gonna do. But crossbow leveling is the Wild West. It is not the best right now, not in the slightest, but almost all of the early game skills actually got reworked, and the support skill gem changed where you can use multiple at the same time, right? That has changed and opened up a ton of things. You also can kite better now because you don't get the reduced movement speed anymore whenever you reload your crossbow. So yeah. The classes that can kind of go for bow leveling easy are Ranger and Mercenary. Mercenary until level 20 has a really great start for bow leveling, actually. A ton of increased damage, increased damage, increased damage, and then you go over here, grab Overwhelm, Curved Weapon, and Colossal Weapon. But for crossbows, a ton of early game skills have been changed. We don't know exactly how the supports will line up, what their new tiers are, if some of them have been moved into lineage supports, and we don't know a third of the Mercenary tree as well. So if you look here, this was the Mercenary tree before, and just look at how many extra clusters there will be. In there will be absolutely mandatory nodes for leveling, and we just don't know what they do. Now, I will be prepping a passive tree once we have it, and I'm assuming that's going to happen a few hours before the patch actually drops according to them. So I will do something akin to a planner before and drop that in the description of this video, as well as that it will be pinned in my chat, which means if you open the chat, you'll find it somewhere right here pinned. And a lot of the rest of this video will be speculation, but I'll tell you what I think after looking at the patch notes. Now, first thing I'm going to do is mule a Ranger. That means run into town with a Ranger, do the boss, put all my stuff into the stash. This gives you 3 extra Scroll of Wisdoms. It gives you a bow to start out with, and then level your Mercenary. After that, level 1 to 5 at least, I will be going bows, and I go the usual lightning arrow plus lightning rod setup, where you go chain with lightning attunement. That is the new support gem's name, just so you're not confused. It used to be called lightning infusion. Chain martial tempo, and then you have the lightning rods, which they chain off of with scatter shot and concentrated effect. This is where you technically could be set until level 21 or I think 22 or 31, but I will be trying something, and that is Incendiary shot. So I'll show you this skill in a second, but it is aggressively mid right now. It has 80% conversion, 100% more chance to ignite, and 10 fragments per shot, right? And these can all hit the same target and then count as one big ignite together. And you can see 26% damage. So in total, that can be 260 for the ignite. It's not exactly true because it also has not 100% conversion, but that's in general the gist. So that's pretty like whatever. The ignite is like, okay. But what it gets this patch is ignites are 200% faster, and it also gets 30% ignite duration for each pellet. So perfect scenario, get 300% increased duration and 200% faster. That is just straight up triple DPS on the ignite. So technically, this should be really, really nice for clear. And I'll quickly show the skill. So I'm in a level 22 zone right here, level 22, and I have my Incendiary shot with fire infusion and pierce. I can also swap this out for concentrated effect for single target, because you obviously don't need the pierce. So this is kind of how it looks like. Obviously the damage is nothing to be representative of because you get triple the ignite damage, but here it is. Now, you will notice that a lot of these enemies won't even get ignited, and that is because currently it's kind of janky. You can see right here, this guy actually lived but didn't even get ignited, which kind of sounds bad, but I'll show you in a second what happened to Incendiary shot as well. So this is kind of just how it looks like, right? And on single target, it's just very important that you go up to it very like much next to it and hit it with all the pellets, and while clearing you can be a little bit more spread. Now this patch they introduced flammability, which is just a counter to make it easier and easier and easier to actually ignite an enemy. And yeah, that's to counteract the point where you just get unlucky over and over because your hit isn't big enough. And this previously used to be just 100% more chance to ignite. So if the flammability formula works as I think it will work, enemies will get easily ignited. So triple ignite damage, easily ignited. Some other things maybe later down the line. The quality doesn't really matter because you're not going to have GCPs. But I think this skill could just be extremely comfortable to level with. So yeah, I'll try that at level 6. If it absolutely blows, I'm going back to bows. And yeah, otherwise I'll go Fire Infusion. I will swap between on clear for Pierce and on single target concentrated effect. And then once you get your 4-link Primal Armament. As for first aura, if I'm bows, Herald of Thunder. If I'm Incendiary, Herald of Ash. And after that, I'll be going for Glacial Bolt, which got nerfed for endgame, but basically not touched for campaign. So what you do is you put down these icicles, and then your Artillery Ballista will destroy it, or your Ripwire Ballista, which is now named Artillery Ballista, and Artillery Ballista is now named Siege Ballista. So first up, if Incendiary Shot turns out to be incredibly nice, I'll probably just keep leveling until later when I can try out Mortar Cannon. But this is probably the safest route, and you basically go Glacial Bolt, Scatter Shot, Martial Tempo, Primal Armament, and for Ballistas, it's a little bit more interesting. So if you look at the patch notes here, you will see that Ripwire Ballista is the one that you get at level 22. This one used to be really bad because it's just like an auto attack straightforward, but now it fires bolts in the air, but it's still not a fire ballista, right? It's not what Artillery Ballista used to be. It's a new Rain of Arrows type ballista. I have no idea if this is going to be strong enough to actually explode the Glacial Bolts, but you can try it out at level 22. Just grab it and see for yourself. As for the new Artillery Ballista, that one is now called Siege Ballista, and that one is unlocked at level 31. It now has, yeah, still a lot of damage. This one is most likely still going to be really strong. So at level 31 at the latest, which is exactly before the boss that I just showed you, Jumanji or whatever it's called. And yeah, you're going to be able to get the combo there. Important before the Act 2 boss, definitely get your uncut level 9 gem so you can actually grab this, unless the other ballista is good enough. We'll have to see. But yeah, that is kind of where I'm going to go for. And unless there's some new, I know there's going to be some new ballista supports that have talked about it, but otherwise I'll just go Martial Tempo, Primal Armament, and Overabundance for the extra totem. Although, do try it out with or without because it might be too little duration. At level 41, we're going to get Mortar Cannon, and we'll try it out. If it's good, great. We might be doing some Explosive Shot plus gas grenade or vice versa. I might only be going explosive shot if it sucks, right? Like this is all up in the air. As for what Ascendancy I'll go for, most likely Tactician for cannons ready. It will be quite strong. The playstyle will be good. You get +1 totem now here from the buffed notable. So that's just going to be very strong. I want to make one retraction, by the way. Calling Strike is decent in campaign, but not as good as I thought it was. In PoE2, Calling Strike actually works different. If you hit an enemy to, for example, you have Call, right, which is 10%, and you hit an enemy to 9%. In PoE1, that means it dies. In PoE2, you have to hit it again. So Calling Strike is a lot weaker in PoE2. That doesn't mean you can't take it, but I will personally be going for Tactician early. I do have good news regarding Sorcery Word, though. So from the way gain is defined in the game, the 35% less evasion and armor rating will not affect deflection whatsoever. So the new deflection buff, you will be able, I'm 99% sure, you will be able to get full deflection, or as much deflection as a normal evasion build would get, and still get your full sorcery word. This 35% less evasion rating should not have any impact, because the deflection only draws from your initial flat evasion. Increases to evasion also don't work for deflect, so it should be the same vice versa. Also, a retraction from a statement from last video, watch how I do it, does not work for ballistas, which is obviously weird on the class that is a little bit more ballista, but it is also minion focused, so it does make sense. It works on minions, but it doesn't work on totems for various reasons we don't have to get into. Banners, we still don't have anything new until the passive tree drops. As for other skills to look out for, I will be trying out Hailstorm rounds. This is kind of like Freezing Salvo on bow. It accumulates shards, and then at some point you press it. You might put like Hourglass or something on this one. You can see that it has more damage now. The bolts fall way faster, but it probably won't overlap as much anymore because it expands in a circle, but that also means it's way, way, way bigger. It has 4 meter radius, so this might be a huge AoE nuke. So look out for that one once you get to level 41 and get a level 11 Uncut Gem. Other than that, look out for the new Galvanic Shards. I would be surprised if there wasn't something with it. It has been changed to be probably way worse at clear, but you got to remember that it no longer has 50% less reload speed, so double as much reload. But yeah, you only have one shot. It does a crap ton of damage though, and the shocks are going to be very yummy. Look out for galvanic shards once you hit, once again, level 41, and then you have shock burst rounds. There is a huge chance that I will be playing that if nothing else that I talked about kind of works. And also do not sleep on high velocity rounds. This one is important to test out because it comes so early. It might just be busted and it comes in at level 6. And this one got reworked to where it doesn't consume fully broken armor anymore, so you don't have to apply it again. You still keep the buffs, for example, that you get with armor piercing rounds. But then what happens is you basically get Impale from Path of Exile 1, where every single hit afterwards for a certain duration will subtract 5% of the damage you dealt originally with high velocity rounds. So big boom, and then after that you basically shotgun, and every small hit will deal a portion of its damage. This is potentially very strong. And some quickie tips here at the end. Get added damage everywhere. So that starts with a iron ring right here. Always check gloves on vendors. Basically check everything for adds physical damage, fire damage, lightning damage, cold damage. Now at the start it doesn't really matter what you get on lightning row. It really doesn't matter. Obviously lightning is nice, but everything is going to be good. Later, if you go Incendiary shot, fire is going to be premium because it can ignite. And then later on, if you go Glacial bolt, Mortar cannon, right, depending on your ailment, but flat damage is kind of broken. Use your sockets on weapons whenever you get the chance to. So also salvage all items with sockets to actually get the Artificer's Orbs. Rarities OP during campaign. I can tell you straight up, a lot of people have told me this, and I've personally experienced it, where all of a sudden you get way more rares, and sometimes also the occasional unique, but mostly just a ton more rares. So you're just going to be a lot stronger overall. And if Incendiary is good, grab one of these, which is Crackle Creep Ruby Ring. I actually found this one during campaign. It is a level 8 ring. It will probably be super cheap. Ignore this if Incendiary round sucks, but otherwise really nice for clear. Other than that, I don't really know what to tell you. I'm going to put something in the description once we have the passive tree. Once I've tried out everything, I'll obviously make a day 1, day 2, day 3 update as always. But in general, you could say this video is useless for you maybe, but I just wanted to kind of give you a rundown of what I'm looking at and what I'm trying to go for. I could have gone just super safe and went Dead Eye Lightning Hero like everybody else. There are just not that many archetypes left, unfortunately, that got untouched. I want to try something new, and if that is at the cost of not being able to put out a guide, then it is what it is. It would be boring otherwise. So yeah, easiest is to join the stream before, grab whatever I put there. But yeah, it will be... I'm actually pretty excited. I don't want to sound bitchy here. I want to make this completely clear. I approach this really positive. It is a little bit annoying because I want to put out a guide, but at the same time, the player in me absolutely loves this. I want to try out stuff, right? I want to get through week 1, and a lot of the fun I usually have from planning the week before will be sprinkled into week 1. Totally fine with me. But yeah, all in all, Mercenary looks incredibly exciting to me. I can't wait to basically figure all of this out, and I will be pushing out frequent updates no matter what you play. Hope you guys have a great league start, and see you on the other side. And since I still don't have a slogan, see you next time.